What if I told you that exactly 1 year ago, I was broke, out of shape, mentally exhausted, and honestly, I had zero direction in my life. Fast forward to today, and I've completely transformed every single aspect of my existence. My income has increased by 400%. I've lost 45 pounds and gained muscle I never thought possible. My relationships are deeper, my mind is sharper, and I wake up every single day with genuine excitement about what's ahead. The crazy part? It all came down to 30 simple habits that I committed to doing every single day for 365 consecutive days. No exceptions, no excuses, no days off. And before you click away thinking this is another one of those unrealistic transformation stories, let me be completely transparent with you. I failed at this exact same challenge 3 times before I finally got it right. I'm not some superhuman with incredible willpower. I'm just a regular person who figured out the exact system that works. By the end of this video, you'll have the complete blueprint that changed my life. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. Most people will watch this video, get inspired, maybe even take some notes, and then do absolutely nothing with the information. Don't be most people. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't knowledge, it's implementation. So grab something to write with, because we're about to dive deep into the 30 habits that will completely rewire your brain, transform your body, and revolutionize your entire life. And I promise you, if you stick with me until the end, habit number 30 is going to blow your mind. It's the one habit that ties everything together and creates what I call the compound effect of success. Let's start with the foundation. The first 10 habits are what I call the morning mastery protocol. These habits set the tone for your entire day and create unstoppable momentum from the moment you wake up. Habit number 1. I wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. Now, before you groan and tell me you're not a morning person, hear me out. I used to be the person who would hit snooze 7 times and drag myself out of bed at the last possible second. The shift to 5 a.m. wasn't about becoming some productivity robot. It was about reclaiming control over my time and my life. When you wake up at 5 a.m., you get a head start on the world. You get quiet, uninterrupted time to work on yourself before the chaos of the day begins. You get to choose how your day starts instead of letting it start you. But here's the key. You can't just randomly decide to wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. You need a system. I gradually shifted my wake-up time by 15 minutes every 3 days. I went to bed 15 minutes earlier each time. I put my alarm across the room so I had to physically get out of bed to turn it off. And most importantly, I had a compelling reason to get up. Which brings us to habit number 2. Habit number 2, I spend the first 20 minutes of every day doing what I call my power hour preparation. This is when I review my goals, visualize my ideal day, and connect with my deeper purpose. This isn't some woo-woo manifestation stuff. This is practical brain programming. When you start your day by focusing on what you want to achieve and who you want to become, you prime your brain to look for opportunities and take actions that align with those goals. It's like setting the GPS for your subconscious mind. Without this clarity, you're just wandering through your day, hoping something good happens. Habit number 3, I drink 32 ounces of water within the first hour of waking up. Your body is naturally dehydrated when you wake up. You've been fasting for 6 to 8 hours. Your brain is literally running on fumes. When you flood your system with water first thing, you kickstart your metabolism, flush out toxins, and give your brain the hydration it needs to function at peak performance. But here's what most people get wrong about hydration. They wait until they're thirsty. By then, you're already dehydrated. I keep a large water bottle next to my bed, and it's the first thing I reach for when I wake up. Before coffee, before checking my phone, before anything else, water first. Habit number 4, I do 10 minutes of meditation every single morning. And no, you don't need to sit in a lotus position humming mantras. Meditation is simply the practice of training your attention. I use a simple breathing technique. I count my breaths from 1 to 10, and when I reach 10, I start over at 1. This practice has been a game changer for my mental clarity, emotional regulation, and stress management. When you train your mind to focus on one thing for just 10 minutes a day, you develop what I call attention muscle. This muscle helps you concentrate better at work, stay present in conversations, and resist the constant distractions that derail most people's days. Habit number 5. I write in my journal for exactly 5 minutes every morning. I use what's called the stream of consciousness technique. I set a timer for 5 minutes and write whatever comes to mind without stopping, without editing, without worrying about grammar or making sense. This practice clears mental clutter, helps process emotions, and often leads to breakthrough insights. It's like taking a shower for your brain. You'd be amazed at how many solutions to problems emerge when you just let your thoughts flow onto paper without judgment. Habit number 6. I read for 30 minutes every single morning. But not just any reading. I focus on books that feed my mind, expand my perspective, or teach me practical skills. I keep a reading list of books related to my goals, and I make steady progress every single day. Reading first thing in the morning when your mind is fresh and focused is incredibly powerful. You absorb information better, retain more, and set a learning mindset for the entire day. In 1 year of reading 30 minutes every morning, I completed 52 books. That's more than most people read in 5 years. Habit number 7, I do 50 push-ups and hold a 2-minute plank. This isn't about becoming a fitness model overnight. It's about proving to yourself that you can do hard things first thing in the morning. When you accomplish something challenging before most people are even awake, you build confidence and momentum that carries through your entire day. The physical benefits are obvious, but the psychological benefits are even more powerful. You're literally strengthening your willpower muscle. You're proving to yourself that you keep commitments, even when you don't feel like it. Habit number 8, I take a cold shower for exactly 2 minutes. This was probably the hardest habit to implement, but it's also been one of the most transformative. Cold exposure does incredible things for your body and mind. It boosts your immune system, increases alertness, improves circulation, and releases endorphins. But the real benefit is mental. When you voluntarily do something uncomfortable every single day, you expand your comfort zone. You build resilience. You prove to yourself that temporary discomfort leads to long-term growth. Start with just 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your regular shower, and gradually increase the time. Habit number 9. I make my bed perfectly every single morning. This might seem trivial, but it's actually profound. Making your bed is the first task you complete every day. It gives you a small sense of accomplishment and sets a standard of excellence for everything that follows. Admiral William McRaven, in his famous commencement speech, said that if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. Habit number 10. I plan my day using what I call the MIT method. MIT stands for most important tasks. Every morning I identify the 3 most important things I need to accomplish that day. Not 10 things, not 5 things, 3 things. This forces me to prioritize ruthlessly and focus on what actually moves the needle in my life. When you try to do everything, you end up accomplishing nothing meaningful. When you focus on just 3 important things, you make real progress. Now let's move to habits 11 through 20, which I call the Daily Excellence Framework. These habits ensure that you maintain high performance and continuous growth throughout your day. Habit number 11, I eat the same breakfast every single day. This might sound boring, but it's actually liberating. Decision fatigue is real. Every decision you make drains a little bit of your mental energy. By eliminating the decision of what to eat for breakfast, I preserve that mental energy for more important decisions. My breakfast is simple: 3 eggs, a cup of oatmeal with berries, and a protein smoothie. It's nutritious, filling, and provides steady energy for hours. I prep everything the night before, so making breakfast takes less than 5 minutes. Habit number 12. I check email and social media only twice per day at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. This was a huge game changer for my productivity and mental health. Most people are reactive. They let emails, messages, and notifications control their attention and energy. When you check email constantly, you're essentially letting other people set your agenda. You're responding to their priorities instead of focusing on your own. By batching email and social media into specific time blocks, I reclaim control over my attention and get more meaningful work done. Habit number 13. I use the Pomodoro technique for all focused work. 25 minutes of intense focus, followed by a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles, I take a longer 30-minute break. This technique leverages the way your brain naturally works. Your brain can only sustain deep focus for limited periods. Instead of fighting against this, the Pomodoro technique works with your natural attention cycles. You get more done in less time because you're working at peak focus during those 25-minute sprints. Habit number 14. I practice the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes to complete, I do it immediately instead of adding it to my to-do list. Reply to that text, file that document, wash that dish. This prevents small tasks from accumulating and becoming overwhelming. Most people procrastinate on tiny tasks until they become huge mental burdens. The 2-minute rule keeps your mental slate clean and prevents you from feeling overwhelmed by a million little things. Habit number 15. I walk for exactly 30 minutes every day, regardless of weather. This isn't about fitness, although that's a nice benefit. This is about mental health and creative thinking. Some of my best ideas come during these walks. Walking, especially without music or podcasts, gives your brain a chance to wander and make new connections. It's active meditation. It reduces stress, improves mood, and often leads to breakthrough insights about problems you've been struggling with. Habit number 16. I practice gratitude by writing down 3 specific things I'm grateful for every day. But here's the key. I don't just write generic things like I'm grateful for my family. I get specific. I'm grateful for the way my daughter laughed when I tickled her this morning. I'm grateful for the stranger who held the elevator for me. Specificity forces you to really pay attention to the good things in your life instead of just going through the motions. This practice rewires your brain to notice positive experiences, which dramatically improves your overall happiness and life satisfaction. Habit number 17. I learn one new thing every single day. This could be a new word, a historical fact, a cooking technique, or a business concept. The key is that it has to be something I didn't know yesterday. This habit keeps my mind sharp and curious. It prevents mental stagnation and ensures that I'm constantly growing. I keep a learning journal where I write down what I learned each day. Looking back at this journal after a few months is incredibly motivating. Habit number 18. I have one meaningful conversation every day. This means putting away devices, making eye contact, and really listening to another person. In our hyper-connected but emotionally disconnected world, genuine human connection has become rare. These conversations don't have to be deep philosophical discussions. They just need to be present and authentic. It could be asking a coworker about their weekend and really listening to the answer. It could be calling a family member just to check in. Habit number 19. I do one small act of kindness every single day. Hold a door, compliment a stranger, help someone with groceries, send an encouraging text. These acts don't have to be grand gestures. They just need to be genuine. This habit serves 2 purposes. First, it makes the world a slightly better place. Second, it reinforces my identity as someone who cares about others and contributes positively to the world. How you treat others is a reflection of who you are. Habit number 20. I review my day every evening by asking 3 questions. What went well today? What could I have done better? What did I learn? This practice turns every day into a learning opportunity and ensures continuous improvement. Most people just let their days blend together without reflection. This nightly review helps you identify patterns, celebrate progress, and course correct when needed. It's like having a personal coach who helps you optimize your performance. Now we're moving into habits 21 through 30, which I call the Life Optimization Protocol. These habits focus on long-term growth, relationships, and creating lasting fulfillment. Habit number 21. I go to bed at the exact same time every night, 10 p.m. Consistency is key for quality sleep. Your body thrives on routine. When you go to bed at the same time every night, your circadian rhythm becomes perfectly tuned. I start my bedtime routine at 9 p.m. I dim the lights, put away all screens, and do relaxing activities like reading or gentle stretching. This signals to my body that it's time to wind down. Quality sleep isn't a luxury, it's the foundation of everything else. Habit number 22. I track my finances every single day. I spend 5 minutes reviewing my expenses, checking my account balances, and updating my budget. This keeps me financially aware and prevents small spending leaks from becoming big problems. Most people avoid looking at their finances until there's a crisis. This daily habit prevents financial surprises and helps you make better money decisions. You can't manage what you don't measure. Habit number 23. I save or invest at least $1 every single day. This might seem insignificant, but it's about building the habit of paying yourself first. Some days I save $1, other days I save 50 or 100. The amount doesn't matter as much as the consistency. This habit ensures that saving becomes automatic, not something you do only when you have money left over. It builds wealth consciousness and creates momentum toward financial freedom. Habit number 24. I declutter something every single day. It could be deleting old files from my computer, throwing away expired items from my refrigerator, or donating clothes I don't wear. Physical and digital clutter creates mental clutter. When your environment is organized and simplified, your mind feels clearer and more focused. This habit prevents clutter from accumulating and keeps your space optimized for productivity and peace. Habit number 25. I express appreciation to someone important in my life every single day. This could be thanking my spouse for making dinner, texting a friend to tell them I value our friendship, or acknowledging a coworker's contribution. Relationships are the foundation of a fulfilling life, but they require intentional cultivation. This habit ensures that the people who matter most to you know that they're valued. It strengthens bonds and creates positive relationship momentum. Habit number 26. I spend at least 30 minutes doing something creative every day. This could be writing, drawing, playing music, cooking, or any activity that engages my creative mind. Creativity isn't just for artists. It's essential for problem solving, innovation, and personal fulfillment. In our productivity-obsessed culture, we often neglect our creative sides. This habit ensures that you maintain and develop your creative abilities, which enhances every other area of your life. Habit number 27. I practice saying no to at least one thing every day. This could be declining a social invitation when I need rest, saying no to a project that doesn't align with my goals, or simply not buying something I don't really need. Learning to say no is learning to say yes to what matters most. Every yes to one thing is a no to something else. This habit helps you protect your time, energy, and resources for your highest priorities. Habit number 28. I do something that scares me a little bit every single day. This could be having a difficult conversation, trying a new skill, or taking a small risk. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. This habit ensures that you're constantly expanding your comfort zone and growing as a person. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. If you're comfortable all the time, you're not growing. Habit number 29. I visualize my ideal future self for 10 minutes every day. I close my eyes and imagine in vivid detail the person I want to become, the life I want to live, and the impact I want to make. But this isn't passive daydreaming. I engage all my senses. I imagine what I would see, hear, feel, and even smell in my ideal life. I focus on the emotions I would experience. This practice programs your subconscious mind to notice opportunities and take actions that align with your vision. And now the habit that ties everything together. The one that creates the compound effect that transforms everything. Habit number 30. I track all 29 habits every single day using a simple habit tracker. This isn't about perfectionism. It's about awareness and accountability. You can't improve what you don't track. My habit tracker is simple. It's just a grid with the 29 habits listed vertically and the days of the month across the top. When I complete a habit, I put an X in the corresponding box. Seeing those X's accumulate creates momentum. Missing a day creates a gap that motivates me to get back on track. But here's the real magic of habit tracking. It makes you conscious of your choices. When you have to mark whether you did or didn't do something, you become more intentional about your actions. The act of tracking changes behavior. Now let me tell you what happened when I consistently implemented these 30 habits for an entire year. The transformation wasn't just external, although that was dramatic. The real transformation was internal. My confidence skyrocketed because I proved to myself every single day that I could keep commitments and do hard things. My self-discipline became unshakable because I practiced it with small actions every day. My mental clarity improved dramatically because I was feeding my mind with good inputs and eliminating mental clutter. My relationships deepened because I was more present, more grateful, and more intentional about connecting with others. My physical health transformed because I was consistently making choices that supported my body's well-being. But perhaps most importantly, I developed what I call a success identity. I became someone who follows through, someone who grows continuously, someone who creates value for others. This identity shift changed everything because your actions flow from your identity. The compound effect of these habits created momentum that carried into every area of my life. Success in one area spilled over into other areas. The discipline I developed through morning routines helped me be more disciplined with finances. The creativity I practiced daily helped me solve problems more innovatively at work. Now, I know what you're thinking. 30 habits seem overwhelming. How do you possibly implement all of these at once? Here's the truth. You don't. Trying to implement 30 new habits simultaneously is a recipe for failure. Here's the implementation strategy that actually works. Start with just one habit. Pick the one that resonates most with you or the one that would have the biggest impact on your life. Focus on that single habit for 2 weeks until it becomes automatic. Then add a second habit. Focus on habits 1 and 2 for 2 weeks. Then add a third. This gradual approach allows each habit to become ingrained before adding the next layer of complexity. Most people fail because they try to change everything at once. They get motivated after watching a video like this and try to transform their entire life overnight. Motivation gets you started, but habit is what keeps you going. The key is to make each habit so small and manageable that it's almost impossible to fail. Want to start exercising? Don't commit to an hour at the gym. Commit to doing 1 push-up. Want to start reading? Don't commit to reading for an hour. Commit to reading 1 page. The goal is to establish the routine, not to achieve some arbitrary standard of performance. Once the routine is established, you can gradually increase the intensity or duration. Also, stack your new habits onto existing routines. This is called habit stacking. After I brush my teeth, I do my gratitude practice. After I pour my morning coffee, I review my daily goals. After I sit down at my desk, I plan my 3 most important tasks. Using existing habits as triggers for new habits makes the new behaviors more automatic and easier to remember. Now, let me address the elephant in the room. What about when you fail? Because you will fail. There will be days when you miss habits, when you feel unmotivated, when life gets chaotic. This doesn't mean you're weak or that the system doesn't work. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is the goal. If you implement 80% of these habits 80% of the time, your life will still transform dramatically. The magic isn't in perfect execution. The magic is in consistent effort over time. When you miss a day, don't spiral into guilt and self-criticism. Just get back on track the next day. One missed day doesn't erase weeks or months of progress. The key is to never miss 2 days in a row. Think of it like this. If you're driving from New York to Los Angeles and you take a wrong turn, you don't give up and go back to New York. You recognize the mistake, adjust course, and keep moving toward your destination. Let me also share some practical tips that made all the difference in my success. First, prepare your environment for success. If you want to drink more water, fill water bottles the night before and place them where you'll see them. If you want to read more, put books in visible places and remove distractions. Second, find an accountability partner. Share your goals with someone who will check in on your progress. Even better, find someone who wants to implement similar habits and do it together. Social accountability is incredibly powerful. Third, celebrate small wins. When you complete a week of consistent habits, acknowledge that achievement. When you hit 30 days, celebrate. When you hit 100 days, celebrate bigger. Positive reinforcement makes habits more likely to stick. Fourth, track leading measures, not just outcomes. Don't just track whether you lost weight. Track whether you exercised and ate healthy meals. Don't just track whether you made more money. Track whether you completed your most important tasks and learned new skills. Leading measures are activities you can directly control that lead to the outcomes you want. Focusing on leading measures keeps you motivated because you see progress every day, even before the big results show up. Here's something else crucial. Understand that different habits will impact your life at different speeds. Some habits, like drinking more water or getting better sleep, will show benefits within days. Other habits, like reading daily or saving money, might take months to show significant results. Don't get discouraged if you don't see immediate transformation in every area. Trust the process. The compound effect takes time, but when it kicks in, the results are exponential. I also want to address the most common objection I hear. I don't have time for all these habits. Here's the reality check you need. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. The question isn't whether you have time. The question is how you're prioritizing your time. Most of these habits take just a few minutes each. The entire morning routine takes about 90 minutes. The evening routine takes about 30 minutes. That leaves 22 hours for everything else. If you can't find 2 hours a day to invest in becoming your best self, you're not serious about change. Plus, these habits will actually give you more time in the long run. When you're more focused, you get more done in less time. When you're healthier, you have more energy. When you're more organized, you waste less time searching for things or making decisions. The truth is, you're already spending time on habits. The question is whether they're serving you or sabotaging you. Scrolling social media is a habit. Watching Netflix every evening is a habit. Hitting the snooze button is a habit. You get to choose which habits fill your life. Now, let's talk about the long-term vision. These 30 habits aren't just about improving your daily routine. They're about becoming the person capable of achieving your biggest dreams and goals. When you develop discipline through daily habits, you build the foundation for tackling bigger challenges. When you develop the habit of learning something new every day, you build the knowledge base for major career advancement. When you develop the habit of taking care of your health, you build the energy for pursuing ambitious projects. These habits create what I call a high-performance lifestyle. You're not just going through the motions of daily life. You're intentionally designing a life that supports your growth, happiness, and success. Think about where you'll be 1 year from now if you implement even half of these habits consistently. Your physical fitness will be dramatically better. Your mental clarity will be sharper. Your relationships will be deeper. Your finances will be more stable. Your skills will be more developed. Now think about where you'll be in 5 years if you maintain these habits. The compound effect will have created exponential improvements in every area of your life. You'll be living at a level that seems impossible from where you are right now. But it all starts with the decision to begin. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not next month. Today, right now, here's your action plan. Before you go to bed tonight, choose one habit from this list, just one. Write it down. Decide exactly when and how you'll implement it tomorrow. Set up your environment to make it as easy as possible. Then, for the next 2 weeks, focus only on that one habit. Don't worry about the other 29, just master one. Build confidence. Prove to yourself that you can change. After 2 weeks, if that habit feels automatic, add a second one. Continue this process until you've built the lifestyle you want. Remember, you don't have to implement these habits exactly as I do. Adapt them to fit your life, your schedule, and your goals. The key principles are consistency, gradual implementation, and tracking progress. Also, don't underestimate the power of small starts. If reading for 30 minutes seems impossible, start with 5 minutes. If 50 push-ups seems overwhelming, start with 10. If waking up at 5 a.m. seems too early, start by waking up 15 minutes earlier than you normally do. The goal is to build the identity of someone who does these things consistently. Once the identity is established, expanding the habit becomes natural. I want to leave you with this thought. Your life is the sum of your daily habits. Every single day, through your choices and actions, you're either moving toward the life you want or away from it. There's no neutral. There's no staying the same. The habits you practice today are creating your future self. The question is, What kind of future are you creating? Are you creating a future where you're healthier, wealthier, happier, and more fulfilled? Or are you creating a future where you're still struggling with the same problems, still making the same mistakes, still wondering why your life isn't changing? The power is entirely in your hands. These 30 habits are not just suggestions. They're a blueprint for transformation. They've been tested in the laboratory of my own life and the lives of thousands of people who have implemented them. But knowledge without action is worthless. Inspiration without implementation is just entertainment. You can watch every self-improvement video on YouTube, read every productivity book ever written, and attend every motivational seminar, but none of it matters if you don't take action. The difference between successful people and everyone else isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. It's the willingness to do what others won't do consistently over time. It's the discipline to choose long-term benefits over short-term comfort. You have everything you need to start this transformation right now. You don't need special equipment, expensive courses, or perfect circumstances. You just need the decision to begin and the commitment to continue. 1 year from today, you'll either be living the life these habits create, or you'll be making the same excuses for why you haven't started yet. The choice is yours. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Don't let them down. If this video has inspired you to take action, I want to hear about it. Comment below and let me know which habit you're going to start with. Share your commitment publicly. Make yourself accountable. And if you found value in this content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'll be sharing more strategies, tips, and real-world applications to help you build the life you want. Remember, transformation isn't a destination, it's a daily practice. Start today, start now. Your extraordinary life is waiting for you to claim it. The time for excuses is over. The time for transformation has begun.
I was like 15 when I had my first heartbreak. I was like 10 when I realized people are fake. I was like 6 and started rapping about the hard days. Now a nigga grown, they play my songs and say I'm hard A. As I'm getting older, I just know that I can't waste time. But it's kinda hard, got different vibes, call out my FaceTime.